Have you ever been flying in Arma and your landing looked a little something like this? Maybe a little too fast. Well, maybe after this video, we can make your landing look a little bit more like this. A little smoother. Maybe you have the opposite problem. Maybe sometimes your landings are just a little too slow. Yeah, maybe you get to the ground, but unfortunately...
Now all of China knows you're here.
So it's not exactly the best landing either. Well, maybe we can work together and we can make your landings not only better, but even precise. And you can land on even a rooftop. If you like flying in Arma, then luckily for you, my name is your chopper pilot. And today, I'm here to help with a Arma Reforger helicopter tutorial. I've been flying in several different games. One of my main games is a game called BattleBit Remastered. I've flown over 600 hours in that game, and now I've gotten very addicted to flying an Arma Reforger, and I have flown about 150 hours in this game. So today I have an input tutorial or an input overlay and a hand cam to hopefully help you get better at flying. So let's begin. Before you even hop into anything, if you want to fly the little bird, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the workshop. You're going to look for a mod. I already have it downloaded, so I don't need to download it, but that mod is called WCS AH6M. It's that little bird helicopter, multiple versions of it. But in particular, the version we care about is the transport one. You can download that, or if you'd like to make it a little bit easier, just so you don't even have to find it or think about how to download it, you can search for King of the Hill or KOTH, and that server, any one of these will do, should have the Little Bird mod available, which means it'll automatically download to your mod pack and be available when you open up Game Master. If you are only on vanilla Arma, that is okay. You can use a Huey and practice with your Huey. So, let's begin. Today, we have 3 main things we're going to discuss. We're going to get started with our game, learn how to just practice, and also how to spawn helicopters, how to go over our controls. Second, we're going to go over flight basics, basically how to start up the chopper, basic controls, and review just the different movements that we're trying to do. And then finally, we're going to go over some advanced flying tips and look at what those are later. So let's begin. First, go to Game Master. You can press X down here. It says scenarios. Just type the word game. And you should see something pop up. Here we have several options. I'm just going to pick Game Master Everon just because it is the biggest one. I normally stream with a face cam, but I figured it might be a little easier just to keep things simple. So we're just going to have a little eagle assist us today. I don't have a nickname for this little guy yet. I don't know. Maybe you have an idea for one. So once you're in Game Master, you have the ability to spawn units and also spawn helicopters. So let's say I wanted to practice on this giant helicopter. I can simply find it in this menu down here, click it, make it spawn. And I have to get a little unit, and you can click and make them spawn. Sometimes it's a little funky. I think you have to press space, or sometimes it's just like a little weird. They take time to get put down. Sometimes I think the server also is just loading a little bit too. But luckily, we have this little guy, so we're just going to take control of him for right now. So, before we even hop in the chopper, we already spawned one. Before we even hop in, we should probably check out our settings and see what they are. Now, here's the deal. People may tell you there's certain controls that you should or shouldn't take. My opinion is that your controls should be whatever makes the most sense for you, not for everyone else. That's the most important thing. Does not matter what works for someone else. If it doesn't work for you, it's useless. So ultimately, I will quickly review my keybinds, but at the end of the day, it should be what is comfortable and makes sense for you. Collective up and collective down make your helicopter go up and helicopter go down. The default for this was set to left shift and right shift, I believed. I personally did not like that. I personally prefer it being on W and S. That just makes more sense for me because W and S feels like go up and go down. So that just made sense for me. Anti-torque is when you rotate your helicopter to left or right. So anti-torque left is where you turn it to the left. Anti-torque right is where you turn it to the right. Cyclic forward is where you pull backwards. Cyclic back is where you pull forward. Cyclic left is where you rotate left. Cyclic right is where you rotate right. I'll show you my specific keybinds when I'm flying, but this is W, S, A, D, cyclic forward. Usually I'm using my mouse or some keybinds I have set on my mouse. Cyclic back, same thing. I use my mouse or keybinds I have set on my mouse. And cyclic left is mostly on my mouse, but also on some keybinds, same with cyclic right. So again, even though those are my controls and what work for me, ultimately you should do controls that work for you. So now that we've reviewed some controls and some things to do, and like I said, I would personally recommend switching collective, increase collective to W and decrease collective to S. Let's get in the chopper itself. Once you get inside the chopper, you'll see a couple keybinds or things that you can do. There are these little cameras or screens that you can mess with. They can turn on some stuff. There is some useful information that you can find. Some of these folding cameras do work, and some servers, some of them don't work, so I just usually fold them away. And I don't recall the default keybind to turn on your engine, but for me, I have it set to R. Left control and R is stopping my engine. I believe R is starting mine. But if you can't find your start engine keybind, you can simply look down and it'll say stop engine, or you hold F and it'll say start engine. So that's how you can start your engine. That's how you start up the chopper, and it should be good to go. There's a couple other things that you could theoretically turn on, but they do not impact your flying, like your search lights. You can have navigation lights, anti-collision lights, dome lights. These are all little things that technically do not massively impact your helicopter. So let's talk about some basic controls. I press W to increase my collective. I press S to decrease my collective. My collective has gone down. This is me pressing A. This is anti-torque left. Me pressing D is anti-torque right. Cyclic is all of the mouse movements for me. I am on keyboard and mouse. So forward or backwards on my mouse does this. Forward does this. Left does this. Right is cyclic right. So rotating like this is cyclic left. Rotating like this is cyclic right. I believe this is cyclic back, cyclic forward. So that is all of the different movements that you do while you're flying. Here's one thing. There's a thing called auto hover. Do not use it. It is very bad. It will mess with your flying more than help your flying. So I would highly recommend keeping auto hover off. Part 3. Some advanced flying things that I would recommend. I have a lot of different buttons set to my mouse so that I can do minor corrections when I'm flying. So I can do cyclic forward, cyclic back ever so slightly with different buttons that's on the side of my mouse to help keep me fast and low to the ground. So that can help you stay fast and low. Another thing is putting other buttons like cyclic back and having the cyclic right or left can also make a big difference, because what you can do is if you press cyclic back and you press cyclic right together, you basically do a little kind of like J-hook or barrel roll maneuver. And if you press S or decrease your collective while you're doing that maneuver, you will go down a lot faster than normal. So I am pressing when I'm doing this to do this little barrel roll, J-hook, whatever you want to call it. I'm pressing the button that makes me do cyclic back. I'm pressing the button for cyclic right, and I'm decreasing my collective simultaneously. And I'm holding the cyclic back, or the making your helicopter tilt backwards, back the most. So, If you work on flying consistently in Game Master and try to improve your keybinds and put all of these things together after consistent practice and after many, many crashes, you will hopefully be able to not only get better at flying, doing the drop-offs, but also hopefully being able to aim where you want to drop off to. And what I mean by that is if you get consistent enough with your drop-offs, you can start thinking in your head like, oh, I want to land in the back of this backyard. And maybe you can pull it off. So, I am going to make a longer and more extended tutorial that'll go over more specifics or go over other things that can maybe help you improve your flying. The biggest thing I can recommend for now is take some of the things talked about in this video, go practice in Game Master, fly and crash and fly and crash and fly and crash. Because the good news is it doesn't matter how many times you crash in Game Master mode, as long as you keep improving and getting better, that is what is important. What would you like to see in the next flight tutorial? Is there anything that you would like more specific information on or more details? This is a shorter video. I can have a longer and extended tutorial in the future. I'm also going to have an even shorter version of this on verticals. If this video is helpful, it would help me if you're able to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. It is greatly appreciated and makes a significant difference. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I hope to see you next time. I live stream on Twitch Tuesday, Thursday, and Fridays, usually 10 a.m. Pacific until like 3 p.m. Pacific. I've been very addicted to Arma, so I am probably going to be playing it almost every single day I stream. I will see you next time. Thank you for the flight tutorial. See ya.